Well, so I binged Hawkeye because it's there as I'm catching up on the Beatles show. And it's pretty much about as bad as everyone said it was. It didn't have to be. There's some things that are in it that are pretty good. Some elements of it I didn't think was as bad as I had heard. The development of Kate is told through basically an animated opening sequence of the opening credits in the first episode. It opens up in the past with we discover that her father is killed during the New York invasion from the Avengers. And in the midst of all that, it's all scary and stuff, and you see the Chitauri and and parts of her home gets destroyed. And in the midst of all that, she sees Hawkeye fighting the Chitauri, and she's like, he's just a guy with a bow and arrow, and she's all impressed with that. And so she's obsessed with him for the rest of her life. And because I had heard somewhere that someone said, oh, she learned her skills by watching YouTube videos. No, that's not right. She trained. I mean, she's like, I don't know how old she is. She's a little girl at the opening, and then she's 22 when we get to the current era of the story. So all through those years, she was training, and she learned gymnastics so she can, have her moves and whatnot. And she trained in archery and all that stuff. And, became excellent in her field and all that. So there you go. She knows her way around the weapon and is athletic and has some amount of ability. That being said, once again, we have a beautiful supermodel-looking woman who's in good enough shape, but she's not really. She goes up against these muscle-bound Russian thugs and just dispatches them pretty easily. It doesn't work that way. She steals the old Ronin suit, which is where they messed up. A Hawkeye series dealing with the Ronin years would have been a much cooler series, but he probably couldn't put that on D+. It would have been on Hulu. Netflix would have done a better job with that, because that's a more cooler story about his years there in between the idiot blip, but that's not what they did. You get inklings of it, and it's the motivation for Hawkeye himself to stick to this and all that. So, but yeah, she gets in the suit, so I'm guessing, the suit's padded or something. It doesn't look like it is, but because she gets hit pretty hard, and I mean her ribs are broken after those hits. There's no way out of it, and yet she's just running around and everything's fine, and look, they showed some scrapes on her face and stuff. It's like, no. Yeah, because other things, she was able to avoid them and stuff like that. She's faster than they are. That kind of thing is good. It's close quarters stuff. She's able to use shelves and whatnot to delay them from getting to her. Stuff like that is fine, but her taking hits like that and then jumping back up and all that. No, that's not. It's not, unless she has superpowers, which she doesn't. So. That kind of stupid crap. And then they introduce Echo later on. I don't know if you're familiar with the character, but that's more out of the Daredevil world. And this ties more into Daredevil than anything else, because, by now the Kingpin shows up. Only he's not the same King. Technically, he isn't. He's super powerful, more or less, in this version of the character. Whereas in Netflix, he wasn't. He had to have a special suit that he wore underneath, which led to Daredevil developing his own suit and that type of thing. So, but anyway, which is why you can also conclude at the end it insinuates perhaps he's dead, but he's not. But Echo is another one. There she is, a small girl, really, who just kicks ass all over the place of being bigger than her. And she's deaf. So she really can't hear them coming. They do things where, she can sense the vibrations, like footsteps and whatnot. So, okay. But She's not like Daredevil in that, well, he's the blind hero, but he has superpowers. He's got a bat sonar. He's more Batman than Batman because he actually has sonar to where he technically he sees better than people with sight, to the exact, measurement of distance and whatnot. That's how he's able to do all the cool things with his, his stick, his billy club, all that type of stuff. And it's always 100% accurate and all that. There's nothing like that about her. Certainly, I can't remember from the comics too much. She was using the Ronin suit in the comics, like she became Ronin. But anyway, I forget, it's a long time ago. But here, no. Yeah. And basically, Ronin killed her father, so she wants revenge against Ronin, which is understandable. And for a while there, the way it is true, the plot is that her buddy, I thought might have been her boyfriend, or maybe maybe her brother. I wasn't clear. But he was like her interpreter because he could talk in sign language. And, he had betrayed the whole organization, to where Ronin showed up and wiped them all out. And, so I thought, maybe Ronin was used, as a means to get rid of him so that she didn't know it was from within the organization and that it wasn't really Ronin, that type of thing. But no, it was Clint Barton in the suit. And, he just gives her a speech about, revenge is no way to go and stuff. I mean, even though her dad was a criminal and all that stuff, it's like, and that Kingpin had set it all up. He needed to get rid of him. He still killed her dad. So that's not going to work out well. So then the teaser from Black Widow, of course, was Yelena is now the new Black Widow, and that she was told that Clint Barton is responsible for the death of her sister, so she pursues Clint Barton. So that's all that is. There's a dumb scene that's supposed to be funny between her and Kate. It really isn't. And that's the dopey humor is this constant, repetitive, rinse, lather, repeat formula for Marvel now. And at this point, it's used as to cover up the idea of just how bad, the show or film you're seeing. And it's all silly. When it comes into moments where this ain't the time for Joe. Too much bad stuff has happened. And the big shocker that you could see coming a mile away was Kate's mom's a criminal, and she was involved with Kingpin and all that sort of stuff, because they had some financial problems, and you get an inkling of that at the opening because her parents are fighting over it before her father's killed in the invasion. And so that's what she did. She, I guess, took out a loan from Kingpin or that sort of thing. She's getting married to some sleazy guy. Seems sleazy enough, but he's just a playboy guy. He's completely innocent and is really good with a sword. And I'll have to look it up if maybe they're giving a nod to the swordsman who was a character in the Avengers way back when. And now I'm blanking on his name again, so I'm trying to wonder if maybe that's who that's supposed to be. I don't know. But anyway, it turns out he's perfectly fine guy. He gets framed by Kate's mother and all this stuff. So Kate's mom goes to jail. Kate's pretty much got nothing but Hawkeye, so she goes home for the holidays with Hawkeye and his family. So there you go. It's a good thing he's got a good marriage, because his wife is like, what the hell is this about? Hey, she's a fan. She's just some strange girl who's been obsessed with me all her life. And that's another thing that's repetitive, is very much like Peter Parker, who's obsessed with Tony Stark and superheroes in general. So it's that thing. It's like, these new superheroes that are going to replace the old ones are just almost to the point of psychosis. Fans who become, I don't think that's a good idea. But all in all, I understand it. It's not entirely ridiculous. It's just, it gets a bit disturbing is just how obsessed she is. So I understand it was an inspiration and stuff, and so that meant something to me. But, and then play it off like she's a comical character, which they do, and all that. But, I don't know, but that's the thing. It's like there's some elements of it that I thought was fine and could work better. It's just distracted and all by the stupid, and it's just too much silliness and that sort of thing. And there's also just the gnawing element that Hawkeye's a guest star in his own show, and it's not his show. This is Kate's show. That's that. So if he's involved at all in a second season, then it's more just a background character who's a mentor to her, and then the rest of it is all her. I thought they would have done better with the Young Avengers, but there again, Young Avengers they're all fans of the Avengers. They play into that too, where they have these police officers who are LARPers who design their costumes, and it's just awful. Hated every aspect of that, other than that these were police officers who looked up to Clint in the Avengers and all that stuff, because they saved New York, and that means a lot to them and stuff like. So I can understand them helping with the case and stuff like that, and say whatever you need, I got you and all that. That aspect of it would work out. All the other silly crap I don't think was necessary at all. So, plus Clint, he doesn't call in any help from the Avengers. He doesn't, or whoever's left, doesn't call Nick Fury or anything like that, which could have helped a great deal in all of this, but I don't know. They just didn't. So, that being said, as of now, Hawkeye appears to be the best of the D+ show. Because it didn't get sabotaged as far as I know, like WandaVision was. The worst remains Falcon and Winter Soldier. For what they did to the Falcon, that's unforgivable. That's almost Last Jedi level stuff. You do not make your hero sympathetic to a mass murderer. You just don't do that. But they did it. So it remains the worst for that. Loki was just stupid. And this was a stupid show, too, in a lot of ways. But it wasn't nearly as bad as that, I guess. But even though the downside is kind of the same thing. It's just silliness, and the real character is put to the back. I don't think Hawkeye was as disrespected as Loki was in this. And there's an admiration between the two. She's not perfect. I mean, it's a bit silly. Again, the constant thing of supermodels taking on Navy SEALs and that sort of thing that keeps repeating throughout entertainment, and it's absurd unless, of course, it's Wonder Woman or something with magical superpowers or what have you. But so that's a big problem. But for the rest of it, and her relationship towards him, and he becomes his father figure. Her father has died. There's also the element that she does not disrespect her father, and she's she's devastated by this, and she misses him, and this is another big motivation for her. So that's give them points where it is. Normally, fathers are just treated like crap in current entertainment. They're constantly cut down. I don't really see that here. Certainly not for Clint either. He's dealing with this problem, and the kids are upset, but he has to deal with it. His wife is supportive of him the whole time, so the usual stuff you'd expect just wasn't there. So, gotta give him that. But it wasn't that great of a show, and it's not something you need to. I need to sign up now and get back in and see. No, it's not worth the trouble. So, there you go. So, but still, yeah, probably so far the best of the. Well, except that Doctor Strange episode in What If, that was pretty good, but that's just one episode. Anyway, Hawkeye. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on Radio Misfits, And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.